Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to do some tapping on the belief and the feeling that you're not good enough. It's a pretty common belief, and it's one that will stop you in your tracks from being able to do the things you really want to do with your life, and from being authentically who you are with yourself and with other people. Before we do the tapping, my name is Sandra. I'm the author of Tapping into Abundance, using EFT tapping and the law of attraction to change your mindset and turn your life around. And if you want to do just that, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss any videos. If you want to work one-on-one with me, if you just want to get clear about what is stopping you, where are these beliefs about not being good enough, or what other beliefs might be there that are stopping you from fully being able to engage in life and do the things that you're really wanting to do, I do offer a free clarity session. It's a free half hour with me where I get to ask you a lot of questions, and you get to really think about what it is that's keeping you stuck, and you'll get clarity by the end of it so that you'll know where you're stuck and what you need to do to get out of being stuck. There's a link in the description field below this video for a form to fill out to book that clarity session with me. And for those of you who like to do things yourself, or if you just like to learn more about shadow work, so that's the deep dive into what you're thinking and what you're believing and how that affects you and your behavior, and you're also interested in the chakras and how your beliefs affect you at each chakra level, and what beliefs, limiting beliefs, you may have at each chakra level that's stopping you from having the things you want to have, feeling the things you want to feel, doing the things that you want to do, and having that vision for yourself, where you're heading and the things that you'd really love to bring into your life. I have a free video. It's called How to Heal Your Shadow Through Balancing Your Energy Centers, and there's a link in the description field below this video. Now, tapping to relieve yourself of these feelings of not being good enough. The feeling of not being good enough can be a general feeling, and it can also be specific to various different things that you might be trying to do or accomplish in your life. But at the end of the day, it all comes back to you feeling that you're lacking in some way. You might feel that you're lacking in talent, or you're lacking in education, or you're lacking in skill, or maybe you don't look the way you're supposed to look in order to do something. The belief of not being good enough can start to create what we call imposter syndrome. It can also have you feeling like a fraud. A lot of people have that feeling of a fraud when they start to go into doing a career, for example, that they've always wanted to do, or something that they're very passionate about, but it brings up a whole lot of feelings of, I don't act like the other people that might be, the stereotypes of that industry, or I don't dress the way they do, I don't speak the way they do, I don't have the same background they do. All of these things we can start telling ourselves, which make us believe that we're not good enough, or that we don't feel like we are the real thing. And that's just our beliefs in not being good enough. And those beliefs come from our childhood in some way, shape or form. Usually from a parent, either being told we're not good enough on many different occasions for many different things, and also mirroring that behavior in our parents as well. We also pick this up from school and from teachers who indicate, if not just outwardly say, we're not good enough. And so we pick that up from there as well. And also from the greater culture around us, where we are totally bombarded all of the time by images and ideologies and stereotypes and advertising that tell us that unless we have this thing, do this thing, look this way, act this way, believe this thing, we're not good enough. So we're getting it from everywhere. So we're going to do some general tapping, and if you do find that anything specific comes up for you while you're doing this tapping, take a note of it so that you can tap on it later. So just following me with the karate chop point. Even though I feel I'm not good enough, and it feels real, I'm okay. Even though I feel I'm not good enough, that I'll never be good enough, I'm okay. Even though I don't feel good enough, I'm going to honor how I feel anyway. So tapping on the points. I have this belief and it feels real. That I'm not good enough. It just feels so real. No matter what I do, no matter what I say, I don't feel good enough. I could have all the qualifications in the world, and still not feel good enough. I keep thinking I have to do more. Do this degree or that course. Just to feel good enough. But even if I do, I still won't feel good enough. Because this belief is in my nervous system. I feel it. I learned it. I learned this. I learned not to feel good enough. I learned that I'll never be good enough. It's something I learned. Something I was told. Something I mirrored. Something I assumed. And now I still believe it. And sometimes I'm not good enough at certain things. Can't be good at everything. And that's okay. I don't have to be good enough at everything. I don't have to be good enough at everything. But even the things I want to be good at, that I am good at, I feel I'm not good at. And I know intellectually that I'm good enough. I just don't feel it. what if I am good enough? What does that mean? What does it mean if I am good enough? That might feel scary. It might not feel safe to be good enough. Who am I to feel good enough? But what if I am good enough? And I can be safe at the same time. What if I'm good enough? And that's okay. What if I'm allowed to be good enough? And I can be safe at the same time. What if it's okay for me to be good enough? And I can be safe at the same time. And take a deep breath and let it out. You can get more specific with this and state the things that you think you're not good at or you're not good enough for. It could be that you don't feel good enough because you've had a relationship breakup and so you're feeling not good enough there. It might be that you're wanting to pursue a particular hobby or a career or something like that, and you're not allowing yourself to really go for it because you don't feel good enough. Whatever it is, do this tapping and ask yourself at the end of it all, what if I am good enough? What does that mean? Because there might be things that you're afraid of. You might feel that you're not allowed to be good enough. You might feel that you shouldn't be good enough, that there's some reason why you shouldn't be good enough, that there's other beliefs there that might be underneath that are telling you, well, who do you think you are? Or if you're good enough to do that, then what does that mean? Does that mean that you might get a big head and become arrogant, or that, who's going to get offended if you're good enough? Or so many different things can enter into the fear of being good enough. So it's important to tap on that and to suggest to your subconscious mind, well, what if you can be good enough and be safe at the same time? What if it's okay to be good enough? What if you're allowed to be good enough? Because so many of us have been either told or we've assumed from the way we've been treated as children, or we're mirroring it, seeing other people feel this and believe this, that has us feeling that we don't deserve to feel good enough, that we shouldn't feel good enough, and that in some way feeling good enough is associated with being arrogant and narcissistic. We can have those beliefs as well. So make sure that you really tune into what those beliefs are that are behind the I'm not good enough. If you do want to work with me one-on-one to really, really get deep and to really find all of those beliefs, like peeling an onion, book that free clarity session. If you want to do a DIY course that works with tapping as well as all of the limiting beliefs at each chakra level, I have a course called The Wheels of Empowerment. It will help you go through very common beliefs such as I'm not good enough, that are to do with fear and shame and guilt at different chakra levels, and help you tap through those so that you can move forward in your life. It's called The Wheels of Empowerment, link in the description field below this video. If you like the video, hit the like button, share it with your friends, don't forget to subscribe. I am Sandra, and I'll see you on the next video.